Hi, I'm Jordana Globerman, the author of Soul Machine, and this is the True North Country Comics podcast.
Welcome to the True North Country Comics podcast, dedicated to promote Canadian comic book and graphic novel creators and supporters. I'm John Swinimer. On this episode, I chat with Jordana Globerman about her new graphic novel, Soul Machine, from Annick Press. Please like and subscribe to this website by hitting the subscribe button, so be notified about new podcast interviews and article posts. This podcast is available wherever podcasts are enjoyed. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Currently based in Ottawa, Ontario, Jordana Globerman has been making comics since she was 10, when her father gave her a stack of vintage Superman single issues. Jordana's comics have been published internationally, applauded by Dazed magazine and Haunted Phonograph in the UK. She holds a master's degree in visual arts from Camberwell College, part of the University of Arts London in London, England, where she majored in drawing anthropomorphic bears and drinking tea the proper way. Soul Machine is her debut novel. The story of Soul Machine goes like this. Chloe, 14, and her 16-year-old sister Lacey make souls by hand in an empty old house in the countryside. When their supply of breth, the raw material needed to make souls, runs dry, the evil MCorp tries to force them to franchise and make synthetic souls instead. Chloe sets out to the big city in hopes of finding a new source, and maybe a way to modernize their business that Lacey is so determined to keep in the past. On a journey to find a real breth crop, untouched by MCorp's greedy hands, Chloe uncovers long-buried family secrets and starts to question whom to trust and what reality even is. So without further ado, here's my chat with Jordana Globerman about her new graphic novel, Soul Machine, from Annick Press. So, Jordana Globerman, thank you very much for taking time to chat with me.
Thanks for having me, John. I'm really excited to be on the show again.
Yeah, it's been a long time, I tell you. We need to chat a bit more. But before we get going with all the questions, I would like to know, what are you reading today?
Yeah, so I'm waiting on a comic book and I am reading a novel right now. So I'm currently reading Tomorrow, which is it's really interesting. It's a fictional novel about three friends that are starting their own computer game company. I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm ordering Bog Myrtle by Sig Sharp, so I'm really excited to read that as well.
Very good. So we're here talking about your new book, Soul Machine, and that's pretty exciting. What if you could talk a little bit about it? What's the story all about?
Yeah, so Soul Machine is a young adult graphic novel, and it's about one young girl, Chloe, and her quest to save a family business and maybe existence itself. So Chloe works with her sister in an old farmhouse in the countryside, and they spin souls through a traditional method, which uses a natural crop called breth. So the essential component of the soul is made out of this plant, and the plant starts to grow scarce. And at the same time, this mega corporation that's making these digital synthetic souls starts to compete with them pretty hard and force them in a corner to franchise. So Chloe is sent out on this quest to try and find more breth to save the family business. And in going on that quest, she also starts to reveal secrets about this corporation and about her family and about existence. So,
Wow, that sounds pretty deep. So,
yeah, hopefully.
yeah. So who's the audience for this book?
It's primarily targeted to young adults, but I would say anyone like young adult and up. I originally wrote it thinking of it for adults, but the characters are teenagers. So it definitely fits a young adult audience very well. But I think people of all ages really can enjoy it.
That's cool. Sounds like there's a lot of business type themes running through it that you find in more of an adult world. But what was the
Mhm.
inspiration for this?
I started writing on mat leave and during the pandemic, actually. And then I went back to it on a second mat leave, which was just like a year ago. And I guess, like, for me, the world was getting increasingly complex and a bit scary. And I was thinking about bringing kids into this world. And I was sort of like, on the one hand, sort of fretting about the trajectory of things like AI and like like leadership and politics and those sort of like political and social fears. But on the other hand, I was just thinking about bringing a kid into the world and this connection between like you and your children and you and your ancestors, and this idea of the soul in being a connectedness between people, like your essentialness and the connection you have to other people's essences. So, two very different thoughts, but they kind of came together in the book.
Ah, very good. Now I was reading that the book has been called a cross between A Wrinkle in Time and Brave New World. I want to ask you, is that a fair comparison?
Yeah, I mean, I those are really good books, so I hope it's as good as them. But I would say thematically, definitely, like it has a sort of fantasy, but like not like unicorns and fairies type fantasy, but like a, like a magicalness and a fantasticness, which definitely Wrinkle in Time has. And Wrinkle in Time, I think it like those are quite spiritual books, the Madeline L'Engle books. And also, I mean, like I love Brave New World, and Brave New World is a great take on everything that was happening when it was written and on modernity, but a bit like tongue in cheek and a bit whimsical. So yeah, I would say yes.
So what's scary is that some of the things in Brave New World are actually coming true today.
Yeah.
I want to switch gears a wee bit and talk about your creative process. I wonder if you could walk me through how you made this book.
I started using an iPad. And the reason why I use the iPad is it's really easy to take it everywhere with me. And like I mentioned, I was writing it on mat leave. So I needed to be flexible, right? Like I couldn't just sit down at my desk all the time and work whenever I wanted to. So the iPad did give me some flexibility. And so all the line drawing and the coloring was done that way. But the backgrounds, I used some more traditional painterly techniques. So I used some watercolor. I also did some pressings of plants and photoshopped those in. And that was because I didn't want it to look too digital, because the whole book is about a tension between sort of the natural and the organic and this connectedness, and then like digitalness and modernity and disconnectedness. I wanted to preserve that tension in the aesthetics too. So I hopefully did that with the digital line drawing and coloring, and then some more traditional elements in the textures and the backgrounds.
So that's kind of neat. You actually are imposing the theme of the book within the actual art itself. Does one win over the other at some point, or without giving too much away?
I believe in a lot of dualism in the way in my worldview, I guess. And I would say no, the tension exists forever. But I guess like in some ways, preserving the tension is hopeful. Like I don't want to give anything away, but
Oh yeah, no, don't do that.
but
Don't do
yeah,
that.
the natural and I guess like the softer power can still survive and still strive, even with this more like dominant antagonistic power. So it's hopeful, but
Hopeful
I
is
would say
good.
no one wins. Yeah.
That's what we need. When we started here talking, last time I looked my notes is that we actually talked back in 2021, some time ago, and you had just acquired your iPad. I presume by this point in time, you've become very used to it and it's become an instrumental tool.
Yes, 100%. Like I'm very reliant on my iPad. It's a pretty stripped down iPad. My husband teases me because it's a small one, it's an old one, but I managed to do the whole comic on it. And yeah, I love it. It's one that I can like take everywhere with me. So I can like sit outside if my kids are playing outside, or I can sit at the table with them, and it's not like a big clunky thing that like takes up a lot of space or that like seems like a distraction. I can just put it down easily when I'm with them, but it's really the only way I would be able to get a book done, I think.
Besides talking to me on this podcast, I'm curious to know, as a creator, how are you promoting your book?
So I should have said this at the beginning, but the book comes out with Annick Press. So I'm very grateful to be working with Annick. They've been amazing. They're a wonderful Canadian children's book publication, and they do sort of like different ages, not just graphic novels, picture books, lots of different books. They're really fantastic. And they have a marketing team. So they've been doing lots of things to promote the book, lots of conferences, lots of sort of review copies and stuff like that. And I'm also going to some conferences myself. So I'm going to be going to the Toronto Comic Arts Festival at the beginning of June.
Terrific. That's terrific. I'll probably see you there.
Yay, that would be fantastic. I'd love to see you there.
Yeah. Well, what is your favorite thing when you attend these festivals and conventions? Is there any one thing that stands out that you really look forward to?
I think it's just meeting other creators and other people who are passionate about comics, like just sort of unexpected conversations about niche interests. Like those are always so fun. And one of the few places that you can go and know everybody's going to sort of be interested in the same things as you. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. You get to share ideas, rub elbows with people that potentially you only see online. So it's a great opportunity to mix and mingle, as they say.
Completely, yes.
That's cool. Now, we've been talking about Soul Machine, and I know you're really hyped about it, but can I ask you what's next? Do you have anything else on your drawing board that you can talk about?
Not at the moment. I'm just sort of focusing on the promotion right now, but I'm hoping to get back to it soon. Yeah, I have some little ideas, but nothing I've started work on yet.
Okay. So for everything that you've got on the go today and in the future, where do you recommend that people go online to find out more about you?
I have Instagram. I'd say Instagram is great for updates about like what I'm doing next in terms of launches or any signings. My comics Instagram is at Jordana Comics, so pretty easy, plural comics. And I also have a website, jordanagloberman.com. It just gives you some links to where you can purchase Soul Machine and a little bit about me. But for updates, I'd say Instagram's probably the best place to go.
Sounds good. So, Jordana, those are all the questions I have for you, but I'm wondering, is there something I didn't ask that you'd like to get across in this interview?
I think you covered everything. But yeah, I just hope people read Soul Machine and I really hope they enjoy it.
Thanks to Jordana for the chat. You can discover more about Jordana online at jordanagloberman.com and on Instagram at instagram.com/JordanaComics. And thank you for tuning in to the True North Country Comics podcast. I invite you to visit the True North Country Comics website so you can listen to even more conversations and discover more about creators' insight on making comic books and graphic novels. I also encourage you to subscribe via the website so you'll be notified about new podcast interviews and article posts. This podcast is available wherever podcasts are enjoyed. Please like, follow, and subscribe. You can follow along True North Country Comics on most social media sites, and you're encouraged to send any and all feedback to John at truenorthcountrycomics.com. Thanks for tuning in, and come back soon for another episode. Bye for now. True North Country Comics Podcast is copyright True North Country Comics, copyright 2025.